What up, y'all? It's your boy Doitall, Dupree Kelly, man. You checking me out right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Where you get your hip hop from?
Peace and blessings, everybody. Karev is back in the building. If you know who I am, you sleeping. But most importantly, I got somebody here who not only I respect, y'all may know him from the music, but I know him because my family told me to check this man out. Introduce yourself to the people.
What up, world? Hip Hop Heritage World. It's your boy Doitall, Dupree Kelly, man, from the legendary hip hop group, Lords of the Underground, Newark's own, man, Brenda's son. Karev, what up?
Hey, man, I'm happy to finally get to sit and talk with you.
No doubt.
Now, let's do some history because usually when I do an interview, I talk about legacies and what got you started. You're way past that. Let's catch the people up with history and bring them to foundation.
Let's do it.
So my history with you is, like I said before off camera, my dad gave me Lords of the Underground towel, and he said, "Yo, it's a young man I want you to look into. His name was Dupree. You know somebody named rapper named Dupree?" And I was like, nah. He was like, "Well, look, a lady from my job, she gave this to him, and he wanted you to have this." And when I got that towel, Lords of the Underground, had it for years.
Right, Lords of the Underground.
The week I got that towel, I think I was watching Rap City, and then Here Come the Lords came on. And I was like, oh, this is who this is.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then I started watching. And over the years, appreciating music, you had money into a club or something on Springfield Avenue.
Yeah.
And I met you
Right.
there. That's the first time I shook your hand and said, yo, I appreciate everything you've done for the culture.
No doubt.
And the thing that made you more pertinent to hip hop, where you were somebody who was seen, respected, and well loved. What does it mean to be a hip hop artist that the community embraces, not only musically, but as a respect as a man?
Man, to be a hip hop artist and have the respect from the community, I think that it should be natural. It should be regular. You know what I mean? That's what it should be, because look, man, like coming up, we all want to make it out. That's the thing, you know, growing up in our communities. I mean, y'all from where I'm from, you know what I mean? Or like places. And you know, we can all say, oh yeah, I'm from this hood, I'm from that. We all know what it really is. Yeah, we all from that. So the theme is we want to make it out. But as you start to make it out, which hip hop has gave me the lane to sort of make it out in a sense, you know, I learned that it ain't really about making it out. You know what I mean? Because you have to ask yourself, what are you trying to make it out of? And that's the question that I asked myself. What was I trying to make it out of? Because when I so-called made it out, it was still other problems that I made it into. You know what I'm saying? So that made me reverse and ask, what was I trying to make out of? I was trying to make it out of poverty. I was trying to make it out of ill situations. I was trying to make it out of my culture being vulnerable. You know what I mean? I was trying to make it out of those things. I was trying to make it out of, trying to make it into having wealth. Not realizing that these black diamonds this roughness that we have in our community is the wealth. If you can really, you know, learn how to capitalize off of it and monetize it and turn other people into creators and thinkers and givers and wealthy people with what we have already here. You know, and Amiri Baraka Sr. made me realize too from a conversation, man. He said, you know, our superheroes, you know, yeah, you can leave and acquire the knowledge, but our superheroes need to come back and be hands-on with the people so that the people can realize they're superheroes too. You know, and he said, here's the example he gave. He said, you know, take a brain surgeon. You go off and acquire the knowledge to become a brain surgeon, and you become the best brain surgeon in the world. And you just happen to move to California and take the job at Cedars-Sinai Hospital or something. And everybody who needs your expertise in the world, in the country, has to fly to California if they don't already live there, or if they're there, they have to drive in, or they have to eat at the restaurants, they have to rent the hotels or Airbnb. So really, you have played a small part in changing the economic development of that situation because of your superpower, because of your expertise. What if you're from Newark, New Jersey, and you take that same superpower to University Hospital? Then you've just done that same thing from the city that you're from. So it's not, I learned that it's not really about making it out, but it's about using your gifts and your talents to make it better. And I don't think enough of us think like that to see the results fast, in a large amount of growth, in a faster pace. I think if more of us felt like that, we would see more results of that. You know what I mean? Because patience wins wars.
And a man who has patience can rule over his spirit, which makes him stronger than a barbaric
That's
warrior.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right, brother.
And the thing about understanding that in the hip hop sense is that we build the community based on our life juices, our strength, our power, our intellectual property. Something I'm teaching my preschool class. You have to have intellectual property, right? But hip hop has systematically been at war with the mainstream, trying to take the intellectual side of hip hop and dumbing it down for something that just makes us coons, buffoons, and idiots. And part of your walk when it came to hip hop, one of the most proudest moment I had in New Jersey hip hop was Fredro Starr calling you hip hop Obama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was dope.
I spoke to Fredro today too. Shout out to Onyx, man, Fredro, Sticky, all of them, my guys, man.
And when coming from the all we do is smoke, drink, and have sex, to even when the word says, even when the sons of God made apparent, the world will rejoice.
Right.
To see a black man, when see a black man with a suit on who represents hip hop and the embedment of the community, the world rejoiced at that message and that scene more than they did for a brand new Pac album.
Right.
Tell me about the changes you've seen as an MC that became political and walked the political talk, rather than someone who was just respected as a rapper. How did that hit you?
Man, that's an amazing question too, Crab. You're a great interviewer, man.
Thank you.
Yo, that's a deep question because I don't want to sound crazy, but the millions of records that we sold with Lords of the Underground, the millions of dollars we've made, the countries we've traveled to, doing it with my two brothers, I can't even describe the memories or the pleasures or just the feeling, but I will say this. The conversations that I have with Pop at 20, 21 years old, while we were on tour with him in Florida, I am doing a lot of those things that we discussed 20 years ago. And those things that Pop told me at that time, I told him, man, get out of here, man. We rappers, man. I don't know what you talking about. Some elected officials. Pop, you tripping, Pop. As I started to get older, man, I started to realize, wow, this guy was way ahead of his time. That he was a genius. Because I started to live out those things that he asked for all of us to do. He didn't just ask me. I just took heed later in life to live out what we talked about. And living out those things, becoming a giver by using the power that I have and the culture that we love and that we should be owning in totality and not just bits and pieces of it. Living out those things, man, being a giver and kind of doing what he said has been the most fulfilling thing in my life. Becoming a giver and not just wanting to take has given me enough to just be cool. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that enough to be cool is it. Like, we should all want for more. But you don't have to take it, in the sense that we have grown up knowing how to take. You know what I mean? You can demand it by showing your worth by being a giver. You can show your worth by giving. You can show your value by being a giver. You know what I mean? Because giving gets. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm only imagining that's how the barter system worked when there wasn't any currency. That was the currency. And that's what I learned, that money is not the only currency.
Facts.
You know,
relationships are currency.
yes, my relationships, my resources, and my experiences are value, which gives me a worth that's incredible. And I thank hip hop for that.
Isn't it funny? Because Pac did say, I may not change the world, but I might spark the mind. And while we were thinking about children, he was talking about a fellow MC right next to him.
Man, salute.